It started with a busted coffee pot in the break room, but one raw confession flipped my whole world on its head. I never figured a dumb kitchen glitch could spark something that'd rewrite every quiet corner of my life. Hey there, you're listening to Affection Unbound. Real stories from everyday folks packed with those gut-punch twists that make you believe in second chances. Buckle up, we're jumping right in. My name's Riley Thompson, and back then, I was a 26-year-old graphic designer grinding away at Pixel Forge, a mid-sized ad agency tucked into a glassy office tower in downtown Seattle. Life was this comfy loop. My tiny one-bedroom in Capitol Hill, mornings sketching logos over oat milk lattes, afternoons tweaking client briefs, evenings hitting the trails at Discovery Park, or binging true crime pods with my cat, Whiskers. No drama, no exes blowing up my phone. Just me, my AirPods, and the steady hum of freelance gigs on the side. It kept things simple, safe. That drizzly Wednesday in October, though, the universe decided to crank up the chaos. Our floor's communal coffee pot, the ancient Mr. Coffee that had seen better days, chose 8:45 a.m. to croak. Black sludge bubbled out like it was auditioning for a horror flick, and the whole team groaned as the line backed up to the copy machine. I was third in line, nursing a half-empty travel mug, when I spotted him up front. Ethan Caldwell, mid-30s, some finance whiz from the accounting firm 2 floors down who crashed our break room for the good brew. Tall guy, rumpled button-down rolled to his elbows, dark hair still damp from the rain, fiddling with the pot like it owed him money. He let out this low, frustrated huff, shaking his head. Figures. This thing picks fight hour to go rogue. I got a 9 a.m. with the brass, and now I'm facing caffeine mutiny. I couldn't help it. His deadpan delivery cracked me up. Man, that pot's got a grudge against Wednesdays. Probably heard us all griping about the Mariners' latest loss and said, "Screw it, I'm out." He turned, those hazel eyes lighting up with a surprised grin, and damn if it didn't hit like a shot of espresso. The line shuffled awkwardly, but we just stood there, ignoring the stares. "You calling me out on my baseball therapy?" He shot back, leaning against the counter. "Guilty. But hey, if it's busted, no harm in bailing for the real deal downstairs. My treat. Call it solidarity against rogue appliances." Before I knew it, we were ditching the mess and heading to the lobby cafe Rainier Brew, where the baristas actually knew your order. The elevator ride down was quick, but the chatter flowed like we'd been swapping stories at a Seahawks tailgate. I spilled about my latest nightmare client, a startup wanting edgy fonts for their vegan jerky brand, while he vented on auditing spreadsheets that multiplied like rabbits. His laugh was easy, the kind that rumbled low and made the rain outside seem less gray. Over our drips, mine black, his with a splash of almond milk, we traded notes on Seattle quirks, the eternal construction on I-5, that one food truck in Fremont slinging killer banh mi. "You know," he said, stirring his cup, "a glitch like that could have tanked my morning. But this kinda salvaged it." I felt this weird flutter, nothing big, just a spark, as we headed back up. My floor dinged first, and I waved. "Don't let the spreadsheets win," he winked. "Only if you conquer the jerky fonts." Walking to my desk, the office buzz felt brighter. That coffee pot betrayal? Turns out it was the sneaky shove I didn't know I needed. After that, Ethan and I kept orbiting each other like planets in the same wonky solar system. It started small. Fist bumps in the lobby, him yelling, "Jerky update?" across the parking garage as I unlocked my Prius. By week 2, we were syncing brakes like pros. I'd text, "Pot fixed?" or "We revolting?" And he'd fire back, "Revolt at the pier?" We'd hit the waterfront, dodging tourists and seagulls, grabbing fish tacos from Pike Place vendors. No pressure, just this effortless rhythm. One lunch, arms full of my laptop bag and a stack of Pantone swatches for a team huddle, I nearly face-planted into him outside the stairwell. He steadied me with a hand on my elbow, that grin flashing. "Whoa, designer down. Thought you pros glided through chaos." I rolled my eyes, heat creeping up my neck. Says the guy who probably color codes his sock drawer. "Multitasking's an art form, Caldwell." Our talks deepened without me even clocking it. Numbers swapped for coffee alerts, turned into late-night memes about bad client emails. We'd perch on the fire escape stairs, technically off-limits, but who cared, sharing turkey clubs from the deli on First Ave. He opened up about his divorce, finalized a year back after 5 years of growing apart, as he put it. Said it left him in a Ballard condo that echoed too loud, rebuilding from scratch with weekend hikes up Rattlesnake Ledge to clear his head. I confessed my own baggage, bailing on a college boyfriend who'd ghosted mid-graduation, then crashing with roommates till I could afford my spot solo. Independence tastes better with takeout for one, I joked. But his nod was serious, eyes locking like he got it deep. Those moments built something solid, layer by layer, vulnerability traded like baseball cards at a Mariners game. I started noticing the little things about him that stuck. The way he'd lean in when I rambled about vector paths glitching in Illustrator, chin on his fist, making my chaos sound like poetry. His 6 a.m. runs along the Burke-Gilman Trail inspired me to dust off my sneakers, pounding pavement while picturing his steady stride. During my all-nighters mocking up billboards, his stories of boardroom standoffs and that nosy barista at his corner Starbucks who always upsized his pour without asking, they injected this quiet energy into my grind. One extended chat over pho at a hole-in-the-wall on University Way veered into the heavy stuff. His dog-eared copy of Atomic Habits dogging his desk, my itch to freelance full-time and chase murals in Wynwood someday. The clock ticked past an hour. "Bosses'll think we defected to Portland," I quipped, standing. He chuckled, falling into step beside me. Worth it. No games, just us, raw and real. Coworkers side-eyed our lobby laughs, whispering about the finance flirt, but I shrugged it off. Ethan became my secret high five in a day of deadlines, this undercurrent of what-if humming low, undefined but electric. 2 months rolled by in that hazy Seattle way, rainy days bleeding into crisp fall hikes, pumpkin spice, everything hitting the shelves like clockwork. Our groove hit a snag on a brutal Tuesday, the kind where the Space Needle vanishes into fog and your inbox is a war zone. I'd just wrapped a client call from hell, a boutique winery in Walla Walla demanding vintage vibes with neon accents, when I spilled out of the tower into the gloaming shoulders knotted tighter than a sailor's rope. There was Ethan, wrestling his messenger bag, a 6-pack of Rainier tall boys, and a grocery sack of what looked like meal prep veggies toward his beat-up Tacoma parked curbside. A rogue onion rolled free, bouncing toward the gutter like it had places to be. I darted over, snagging it mid-escape. "Whoa, buddy. Veggie jailbreak? Let me lend a hand before dinner plots its own coup." His face split into that grateful half-smile, the one that crinkled the corners of his eyes. Riley, my hero. Rough day edition, stakeholders acting like my projections are personal attacks. We crammed his haul into the truck bed, but neither of us peeled away. The streetlights hummed to life, casting that golden Pacific Northwest glow on the puddles. "I'm not quite ready to stare at my ceiling fan solo," he admitted, rubbing the back of his neck. "Brain's doing loops like a bad Excel formula." I nodded, the weight of my own pitch deck echoing in my chest. "Tell me about it. Feels like I've been herding cats in Canva all afternoon. Hey, there's that dive bar on Bell Street, the one with the killer mac and cheese. Escape pod?" We ended up in a corner booth at the Rusty Anchor, all worn leather and neon beer signs flickering like fireflies. The place smelled of fried cod and spilled IPA, a soundtrack of jukebox Springsteen crooning Thunder Road, underscoring the low buzz of after-work chatter. We ordered hers mac piled with bacon, his fish and chips with extra tartar, and the unloading began. His vent poured out, endless revisions on a merger report, the boss riding him like he was personally tanking the Dow. I countered with winery woes, how their bold yet rustic brief had me Googling wine fonts at 2 a.m. Laughter bubbled up, easing the knots, but then the air shifted. He toyed with his pint glass, condensation pooling like unspoken words. "You know, amid all this corporate BS, the one thing that doesn't feel like a grind? Talking to you, it's easy. Like coming home after a long trail run, feet sore but soul full." My fork paused midair, heart doing a little stutter step. Ethan. Same. It's not the forced happy hours or small talk hell. With you, it's just choice. No scripts. Silence draped over us, thick and charged, the kind that hums with possibility. He took a breath, eyes dropping to the table before lifting to mine, raw, unguarded. Truth? After the divorce, I got real good at solo mode. Convinced myself it was fine, you know? Podcasts for company, runs to outpace the quiet. But these chats, they crack that wide open. Show me what I've been missing, the mess of actually connecting. I reached across, my fingers brushing his knuckles lightly, a spark jumping like static on wool. We all fake the fine armor, waiting for someone to call the bluff. You're not alone in that, Caldwell. Hell, I'm right there, sketching dreams but scared to chase them solo. We lingered another hour, the bar emptying to a handful of regulars nursing last calls. Bruce segued into Patsy Cline's Crazy, her voice wrapping around us like a worn flannel. He walked me to my car, the rain holding off just long enough for a real goodbye. Glad the chaos dumped us here, he said, voice low. Blame the onions, I shot back, grinning. His truck rumbled off into the mist, taillights blurring like a promise. Driving home to Capitol Hill, windows down to taste the salt air, I felt unmoored in the best way, a quiet revolution stirring under my skin, unnamed but alive. That night flipped a switch. Hallway hellos turned electric, his glance across the lobby hitting like caffeine on an empty stomach. Texts pinged constant. A meme of a derailed coffee pot captioned, "Our origin story." My reply, a heart eyes emoji that said more than words. By Thursday, we were grabbing post-shift ramen at a spot in the International District, steam curling up like secrets between bites of spicy tonkotsu. Banter flowed, him roasting my artistic mess desk pics I'd sent, me teasing his spreadsheet confession. But under it, this pull grew, tentative and tender. Come Monday, we snagged the last table on the patio at Elliott Bay Book Company, the one with the view of ferries slicing Puget Sound. Fall leaves skittered across the decking, our plates heaped with salmon salads and crusty sourdough. We eased into safe territory. Seahawks odds for the weekend, that new Taylor Swift track everyone's dissecting. Then he went still, folding his napkin into precise squares, a tell I'd clocked as his nerves kicking in. Riley, I gotta lay this out. Been chewing on it all week. My pulse kicked up, salad forgotten. Shoot, you know I'm all ears. He exhaled, hazel eyes steady but soft. I'm falling for you. Hard. And yeah, you're what, 10 years behind me on the birthday cake count? Doesn't change a damn thing, but it's got me twisted up. The world narrowed to his voice, the admission hanging like fog lifting off the bay. My water glass sweated in my grip, a nervous laugh bubbling free. Ethan, you sure you want to drop that bomb over Kale? Heart attack waiting to happen. He cracked a shaky smile, but the vulnerability lingered. Not bombing, truthing. Fought it at first, told myself it was just the easy vibe, the coffee pot conspiracy. But nah, it's you. The way you light up talking vectors or bad horror flicks makes me want to stick around for the sequel. I leaned in, the fairy horn blaring distant approval. Age? That's just numbers on a driver's license. You see me, Ethan, the real Riley, not the polished pitch version. The one who geeks out over Wes Anderson's symmetry or cries at those ASPCA ads. That's rare as a sunny July. I'm in too. Been circling it like a moth to your porch light. Relief flooded his face, that grin breaking wide as the sound. We clinked glasses, the moment sealing with a quiet promise. Strolling back to the tower, shoulders brushing, he voiced the shadows. Work's gonna buzz, Caldwell's cradle-robbing jokes incoming, and my folks in Spokane, old school as they come. I squeezed his hand, brief but firm. Let 'em talk. They ain't living our story. This feels right, why borrow trouble? Simple as that? or too stubborn to let fear rewrite the good parts. At the doors, his palm grazed my shoulder, warm through my sweater. Thanks for not bolting. Thanks for the honesty. It's sexy as hell. My cubicle that afternoon? A wasteland of half-hearted doodles, his confession replaying like a favorite track on loop, cracking open doors I'd bolted shut long ago. No going back to buddy status after that patio epiphany. It was like the Space Needle had lit up inside me. Steady glow, impossible to ignore. Our Mondays morphed into ritual walks through the Olympic Sculpture Park, that stretch of waterfront where the sky meets the sound in one endless exhale. We'd wander the paths, dodging dog walkers and their frisbee-chasing labs, the air crisp with salt and pine from the evergreens. I'd loop my arm through his, casual at first, then not so much, our steps syncing like we'd rehearsed. One afternoon, wind whipping off the water, we paused by the eagle sculpture, those massive red arcs twisting skyward. He tugged me closer, his jacket smelling of cedar cologne and faint coffee. "You know, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop," he murmured, tracing the metal with a fingertip. Me? All potential and wild ideas, fresh out of that post-college haze. You? Piecing life back after the storm. What if I drag you down with my chaos? I tilted my head against his shoulder, watching a ferry chug toward Bainbridge. Drag? Nah. With you, it's like finally finding the right filter on a photo. Everything sharpens, but softer too. No missing pieces, just us. Being enough. His exhale was a sigh of surrender, arm wrapping around my waist as we stood there, the world blurring to background noise. We named it then, over a shared thermos of cider from a vendor cart. This is us dating. For real. No trial period. Laughter sealed it, light and freeing, as gulls wheeled overhead like confetti. Weekends unfurled like hidden trails we'd always known were there. Saturdays meant the Ballard locks, me snapping pics of salmon leaping the fish ladder while he narrated fake documentaries in a gravelly voice. And here, the mighty sockeye defies gravity, one flop at a time. We'd cap it with beers at Reuben's Brews, toasting foam-flecked glasses to accidental adventures. Sundays? Farmers' markets in Wallingford, haggling over heirloom tomatoes and lavender bundles, my basket overflowing while his held practical stuff like artisanal cheese. Gotta balance your fairy tale haul, Thompson. Back at my place, we'd cook disasters into triumphs. One night, his attempt at risotto turned gluey, but we salvaged it with extra wine and a playlist of Fleetwood Mac, swaying in my galley kitchen till the rice was forgotten. You're a menace with a wooden spoon, I teased, flour-dusted and flushed from his proximity. He pulled me in, dipping me like a rom-com cliché. Good thing I've got moves elsewhere. That kiss, first real one, tentative then deep, tasted like garlic and possibility, my hands fisting his shirt as the world narrowed to his heartbeat. Evenings at his Ballard perch brought the cozy chaos. His condo was all exposed brick and IKEA hacks, minimalist to a fault, bare walls staring back like judgmental aunts. Dude, this place screams bachelor freeze-out, I declared one Friday, armed with thrift store frames and my glue gun. Time to inject some soul, posters from that Alki Beach flea market, maybe a print of those fairies you love. He groaned theatrically, but his eyes danced as we hung a wonky gallery wall. Crooked levels be damned. You're turning me into a Pinterest dad, he laughed, stepping back to admire our mess. In payback, he invaded my studio the next weekend, toolbox in hand, eyeing the wobbly IKEA cabinet I'd cursed since move-in. This thing's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Hold the flashlight. I'll play handyman. What followed was pure slapstick. A stripped screw, a drill that whirred like an angry hornet, me steadying the shelf while he swore under his breath. It toppled once, burying us in sketch pads and yarn skeins, and we dissolved into hysterics on the floor, tangled and breathless. See? Teamwork makes the dream work, he wheezed, brushing hair from my face. That brush turned linger, his thumb grazing my cheek, pulling me into a slow kiss that erased the clutter. World reduced to the warmth of him, solid and sure. Hesitations didn't vanish overnight, though. They lurked like storm clouds over the Olympics. At work, the whispers cranked up, my cube-mate Jess cornering me by the Keurig. Spill, Rye. That finance hunk? Office romance bingo just got real. I played it cool. Just coffee rebels, promise. But inside, my gut twisted. Ethan's team wasn't kinder. He overheard a junior analyst's crack about robbing the cradle for fresh spreadsheets during a coffee run, and it soured his Friday. We hashed it that night over takeout pad thai on his couch, rain pattering the windows like impatient fingers. "Hits different when it's out loud," he admitted, chopsticks idle. "Like I'm the creepy uncle at Thanksgiving." I scooted closer, legs tucked under, my hand finding his. Screw the noise, they're projecting their own boredom. My crew? Half jealous, half thrilled. And family? Mom's already planning double dates in Tacoma. He searched my face, shadows softening. "Your folks cool with the gap? They love you already? Said you sound like solid Seattle stock. Dad's just bummed you're not a Mariners diehard." A chuckle rumbled from him, tension uncoiling as he drew me against his side, chin resting on my crown. "What about us? This sustainable?" Vulnerability edged his voice, the post-divorce echo. I twisted to meet his gaze, fierce. "As long as we keep showing up. No checklists, just choices." His nod was slow, affirming, lips brushing my temple in a kiss that whispered trust. Friends' reactions tested the waters too. My brunch squad, lifelong gals from UW days, grilled me over mimosas at the Pink Door. 10 years? Girl, is he packing wisdom or baggage? I defended with stories of his trail-running grit, the way he quoted Vonnegut mid-commute. They softened, toasting to plot twists. His circle, a mix of ex-college bros and hiking buddies, ribbed him at a Sounders watch party, beers in hand, chants echoing from the TV. Caldwell's gone soft, trading tailgates for poetry slams? But when I tagged along, laughing through their jabs and scoring brownie points with a killer guac, the ice thawed. One pal, Mike, pulled him aside later. "She's gold, man. Don't screw it." Proximity worked its magic, melting skepticism into cheers. Through it all, the little rituals anchored us. Balcony nights at his place, wrapped in a shared quilt against the chill, mugs of Seattle's best steaming between us as freighters ghosted the shipping lane below. One sunset, the sky bleeding orange and violet over the Sound, he traced lazy circles on my knee. Never pegged myself for this. Post everything, finding someone who fits like a favorite flannel, softens the edges I didn't know were jagged. I nestled closer, the city lights winking like accomplices. Me neither. Thought I'd chase solos forever, murals in Miami, solo road trips up the 101. But this? You? It's the remix I didn't see coming. Warm, real. He tilted my chin up, eyes reflecting the dusk. From a busted coffee pot, Universe has a twisted sense of humor. I grinned, stealing a sip of his brew. Best bad joke ever. Truth settled in those quiet beats. No grand oaths under the aurora, just the daily yes, picking the ferry line together, debating the merits of Dick's Drive-In versus local indies, curling up for Rocky Horror reruns with popcorn fights. Reservations faded, not to ghosts but to footnotes. Closeness, the ultimate solvent. That initial glitch? No fluke. Fate's sly nudge toward seeing each other clear. The laugh lines from too many rainy commutes, the dreams sketched in margins, the choice to lean in despite the years between. Ethan's words that first raw night echoed now, evolved. In the unlikeliest spots, like a glitchy break room in a rainy city, two hearts stumble into sync, forging something profound from the ordinary. What percolated wasn't just Joe, but a bond recasting routines into adventures, doubts into devotion, tomorrows into hours.